Lovely day for it. Lovely day for it.
You're
Lovely
talking to
day
no
for
one?
it. I don't even know how to tell the truth anymore.
A kid. They haven't seen kids in years.
Lovely day for it.
Are you joking? It's been shitty all day. Did you not notice the drops of water falling out of the sky? Gonna be shitty tonight too.
You're right. It has been rather a shit day.
Shitty day for it. So, that shows that there are people outside the city where kids are growing up just fine. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. What is theater? Oh, these are all of the memories that I found. Okay. I read the plot on Wikipedia a few days ago and wanted to smack my head against the wall when I found out what it didn't cover. The plot of We Happy Few? I can play any of the three of them. Alright, hang on. You got me curious. Let me close this out. We Happy Few game plot. Let me see. What does it say? Let's see what we got here. Oh my gosh. Hold on. The web page is lagging really bad. Alright. There's a survival mode where the players drop in the middle of nowhere and their only goal is to escape. This is... I don't think this is what we're looking for. Hang on. Story. Arthur's story, Sally's story, Oliver. Let's see. After Sally and Ollie's chapters have been completed in the epilogue, the player can choose one of two endings. Either Arthur departs Wellington Wells for the mainland and continues to search for Percy, or takes the memory-destroying drug Oblivion and rejoins the populace in their ignorance. If Arthur continues to the mainland, he encounters an impoverished young child complaining about rainy weather, indicating other towns in England did not follow the path that Wellington Wells did. So not anything crazy. Okay. Well, in that case, let's do what we usually do at the end of games on our channel, chat. We have a tradition on the Mukluk channel, and that is whenever we finish a game, we do ourselves a little review over it. And this is no exception. So, let's break it down. Let's break it down here. Hang on a sec. I need something to write in. Opening up the notepad. Okay. So, categories here. We got story, graphics, sound, gameplay, any problems. All right, no DLC? Absolutely not. All right, so story. I think this is the strongest part of the game. It's not perfect, but it's intriguing. However, there were some parts of the story that did bug me. For example, the parts of the story where Arthur and Sally met up and they like overlapped, or where Arthur and Ollie met up and they overlapped, they didn't match. Like the one scientist lady, was it Dr. Faraday? Her shop was in a completely different location in Ollie and Sally's story than it was in Arthur's story. And then also like the way they met up and stuff. Now, I think it could have been cool if, for example, when Sally said, "I have a baby," and Arthur didn't hear it. Maybe what if they had done is in Arthur's playthrough, they're having a conversation, and right before that, he just starts hearing like a high pitched noise because like he's just lost in his head and everything is stressing him out, and it's almost like tinnitus, you know. And then he misses that last line and just walks away, and then she thinks he's ignoring her. That would be a way that you could have them be slightly different. Like, oh my God, Arthur didn't hear that. Yeah, that would have been cool. But they completely changed. Like when you were playing Arthur and you met with Sally, and then later you're playing Sally and you meet with Arthur, it's in a different location. The conversations are different. It just plays out drastically different to the point that it's annoying. And it's just like, okay, this isn't just like a difference in memory. Like this is just like annoying. So I did not like that. It was too drastically different. Graphics, the game had a very unique art style, especially with like the mask and stuff like that. I think it was cool. It was a very memorable thing. I had never seen a game that quite looked like that. Stylistic approach to graphics withstands the test of time more than realism. If you try to make something look realistic, then the next time a new line of video cards comes along, it looks like trash, you know, by comparison. But if you go for like a stylized thing, then that withstands the test of time. I think they did good with the graphics. Sound. It was fine for the most part. Like there was some very satisfying sound effects, like hitting someone over the head with a frying pan. The music was pretty good. You know, like there was some good vibes, stuff like that. I think overall the sound design was pretty good. Gameplay. Gameplay definitely had some issues. It was like in some parts of the game, you know, it wanted you to be a like melee powerhouse. In other parts of the game, it was you were supposed to be, you know, stealth. You're supposed to be stealthy and thiefy. But then there were some issues that were, it's like, okay, this is creative for storytelling, but it's just annoying. You know, like, for example, if you were running, the cop, like, everyone would come after you, including, like, old grannies. If you were jumping, everyone would come after you. If you were crouching, everyone would come after you. If you were out at nighttime, everyone would come after you. Combined with the fact that there were 10 cops on every block, it was ridiculous how much time I had to spend trying to get out of combat, right? That was really annoying. The inventory management was awful. You could never even see your character except in rare cutscenes. So there was like that little, you know, paper doll version of you on the left side, but it didn't even update. So like, I have no idea what my guy looked like in a boiler suit. I couldn't see it. For an RPG, that's insane. I could never see what my own character looked like in these different things. So that was really irritating. In the inventory, if you wanted to drop something, you either had to drop one or drop all. If you had 45 glass bottles and you wanted to drop 20 of them, you had to hit drop to drop, drop, drop to drop, drop, drop to drop, drop, drop to drop, drop, drop. It had the worst inventory management I have seen in a long time. If you were looting a dresser and it had a rotten potato, a dead skunk, and metal bits, you either had to loot it all or loot nothing. So you had to loot all of it and then manually drop the dead skunk and manually drop the rotten potato if you wanted the metal bits. You could not just loot the metal bits. So looting and also cleaning up your inventory. Hi, Chip. Either of those things was really tedious to the point that I avoided doing those things as much as possible. And it also made me avoid doing side content and the DLCs because there was a million little frustrations in this game that were piling up. When I was meleeing the guards, they sometimes blocked attacks without showing the graphic of them blocking the attacks. You know, when I was using waypoints, it sometimes wouldn't save that I had gotten the waypoint and I'd have to walk back for 10 minutes to go try to unlock it again. Sally's playthrough, in the introduction, she sounded really cool. It talked about how she had to use her atomizer, the spritzer, to like the perfume sprayer, to spritz chemicals in people's face because she was petite and, you know, worse in a fight than Arthur, which totally made sense. But I could never get all the materials for that. So I finished her whole playthrough without being able to build a single one of those spritzer atomizer things. So it was just like the main. So like I ended up playing her the exact same as Arthur because of that, except she just couldn't use the workbench. And I honestly I find myself like wishing for a bit more of the story. Like again, the story was the strongest part, but the rest of it was a trial, a chore, a tribulation. Something like that. Do you think the conversations were a continuity issue, or were they trying to make it seem like it was what that character remembered? The thing was, is it was in entirely different locations. Like, for Arthur, whenever he had the conversations with her, it was at her house. For Sally, it was outside in, like, the garden district, the ghetto. And they were out there, and she was visiting him out there. And then, like, not just that, but the dialogue was different. However, I think Arthur's conversation with Ollie was nearly spot on. But the two major conversations he had with Sally were in different locations at different times, and different things were said. So it honestly, I don't know what they were going for there, but for me, it just disconnected me from the story. I was like, what is this? So yeah, the story about like the kids and stuff like for example, I really wish the third person you played was Percy. I wanted to find out what happened to him. Did all the kids get taken away and get killed? Did they grow up in Germany and they were just like raised, in like a German way? I don't know. I'm curious to find, like, we never found out what happened to all the kids. Like, everyone in that town is haunted by the kids getting taken away, and you never find out what happened to them. Even if it was something gruesome, like, oh, they were all just, like, killed. Like, I would have loved to have found that out, but it was never covered in the main story. Maybe there was a piece of paper somewhere that would have told me. I'm not sure, but I didn't find it. So, overall, I would say, how long did it take us to play it? It was 20 hours. I would say the first 10 hours were the most enjoyable part because they had the least bugs. Kind of felt like I was playing Pathfinder Kingmaker, where the second half of the game was just riddled with problems. Most of the bugs and glitches and problems I had in this were in the second half. Is this the one with the clock? No, that was something else. That was when we tried Pathologic 3. That was something else. I read somewhere that there's a theory of what it is, but I don't want to say unless you give me the go. Yeah, go ahead and say it, Darth Maul. You can go and say it. With the Town in the Mist. No, yeah, that was Pathologic. We tried Pathologic 3 one evening, and I didn't. Not only did I really not think it was for me, I asked chat. I kind of did like a vote, and most of them were like, nah, let's move on to something else. They just weren't into it. It felt like there were two teams working on each section, and they didn't talk to each other. A little bit. Like, I like survival crafting type games where you're trying to manage resources in your inventory and you're like, okay, I can either make 2 grenades or 3 heals. I've got to figure out how I want to do this. I like that kind of stuff. But in this game, just like the end result was just like I forever was out of healing stuff when I was playing Ollie. I had a million healing things, but I could never craft Sally's weapon. Arthur, I never really had to craft much of anything. I was mostly just hitting people over the head with a pipe. Hi. So I feel like as far as survival crafting goes in this, kind of reminds me of Chronos the New Dawn. That was another that was a horror survival crafter. But in that one, it was like the survival crafting was very kind of like a second thought. In this one, it was like there were so many crucial ingredients, and if you were missing any one of them, it was not possible to really proceed with that. Make 2 healing grenades. If the enemy's dead, you don't need to heal. Those blue Molotovs were pretty crazy since it seemed to set people on fire, not damage them, and have them run around screaming for the next 10 minutes. That was pretty crazy. Yeah, I think that's about it. I don't regret playing it, but the second half definitely had a lot of frustration. And like any big game that, could be a 50-hour game, if there is a lot of frustration in the game's basic systems, such as looting, cleaning your bag, selling to vendors, cleaning up your inventory, crafting, if there's a lot of frustration with those systems, I want to just wrap it up as fast as possible. And that's kind of what happened here. So this was a game where I just was just like, I want to see the main story. It has got its hooks in me. I do want to see the main story to the end, but by God, I don't want to do anything else. Because it was really rough. Like, God, the combat at the end with those guards where they were just like, they'd be blocking and then they'd lower their block and I'd hit them and it would still make the blocked sound and then they would hit me back. Oh my gosh. I was about to like blow a blood vessel. I was getting so frustrated that they were just like blocking without blocking. All right. Yeah, I think that's it. So that was We Happy Few. And Frustrations in the end game aside, I hope some of you enjoyed it, but that is it for this one, and we are on to the next one.